So I'm from Bombay. I was born and brought up in Bombay, and I went to this school in South Mumbai, and then because I grew up there, and I went to a college called Xavier's, where on the second day of my college in my 11th standard, I met this guy called Fazal Qureshi, who's a well-known tabla player today. He's the younger brother of Zakir Hussain, who was my senior in school. And so we met, and he said, "Tu kya kar raha hai aajkal?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just getting used to college." So he said, "Tu नाटक में काम करेगा? यहाँ पे इप्टा का competition होता है, inter college है, तो they're looking out for an actor." I said, "Why not?" So he said, "एक minute रुक." And then he turned, and there was another young guy standing there, and he said, "इनसे मिलो, ये इनका नाम अनिमेश जैन है." So I said, "Hi." So Fazal said, "तुमने इनको पहचाना?" I said, नहीं. So he says, टीपी जैन का नाम सुना है तुमने? मैंने कहा हाँ बिल्कुल. तो सर ये टीपी साहब के बेटे और ये नाटक डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं और इनके वो एक एक्टर चाहिए. I said, why not? And the play that I did was Shankar Shesh साहब का play called Phandi, where I played the lawyer and Animesh played the Phandi. And it was a great experience. I had never been on stage before. My school didn't have much of theatre activity. I have no idea why I said yes to being part of a play, because, as I said, I was more interested in sport. I was a cricket player for my school. I was a badminton player for my school. So my whole thing of Xavier's was to get into the sports because they had a great cricket team. But for some strange reason, I just said yes to the play, and I did that play. And that's how my journey into theatre started. So the moment I did that play, within a couple of months, I realized that there is an active amateur theatre group in Xavier's. And I had contemporaries like Rahul Takuna, who used to do English theatre, and Animesh and I were doing Hindi theatre. And so there was this small theatre gang that was forming in and around that time in college. And there was another a very talented actress in those times who happened to be my senior and a batchmate of Animesh and Rahul Takuna. Her name was Nandita Aras. Nandita was somebody who's done theatre with Satyadev Dubey since she was a child. So at that time, Dubey Saab was doing Mithu Mithu Popat, Dilip Chitre's play. This was 1981. And he needed young girls for that, because that play had about 11 girls, women of various age groups. So Nandita came to me and asked if there are any girls in my class, and a whole lot of things happened. And some of my batchmates, my classmates, they volunteered, and one of my friends whom I had become friends with in college at that time, one of my classmates, she got auditioned, and she went for the audition, she got selected, and she became part of Mithu Mithu Popat. And so, because I had to while away my time, because we couldn't do theatre 24 hours in Xavier's, I used to go every afternoon after college with her, tag along and go to NCPA. Now when I reached NCPA, that is where I met Satyadev Dubey. And of course, I didn't interact much with him. I was just introduced, and I used to watch him do the rehearsals, and I was completely fascinated by the world of theatre. As I was finishing my 11th standard in Xavier's, I had two seniors who, one of them went on to become a well-known film scriptwriter called Shiv Subramaniam. Shiv wrote Parinda in 1942 and all that. Shiv was my senior again in Xavier's, much senior to me. He was passing out, and he used to do theatre with Nasiruddin Shah. And so I had again got friendly with Shiv, and Shiv told me that if you're free during your vacations, there is a gentleman called Ravi Baswani. And I was a big fan of Ravi Baswani because I'd seen Chashme Baddu. So he said he's shooting for a film right now called Jani Viduyal, and he wants to do a play, and he's looking for a cast. So I've suggested your names. If you're free, why don't you come with me? So I landed up in Juhu at that school there, Popat School, something it was called. And there I meet Ravi Baswani. And he was doing a version of B.V. Karan's Andher Nagari Chaupat Raja, which was a musical, which Karan Sahab had done as a musical. So Ravi had got the permission from Karan Sahab to do it as a musical. So 2 months in 1982, in the summer of 1982, I was completely taken in by this musical. And the best part of that play was that it was a potpourri of a whole lot of people. So there was Bombay boys like myself, Aditya Bhattacharya, and there were these two boys from Motley called Mihir Thakkar and one more person. And there was Shiv Subramaniam. And Shiv's batchmate, who was again a very dear friend of mine, who also did theatre with Nasir, called Kenny Desai. So we were these 4-5 guys from Mumbai. And then there was this whole exodus from this National School of Drama, who had all come down around that same time. So the other members of the cast included Alok Nath, Neena Gupta, Anita Kaur, and a whole lot of these guys. And Raja Bundela, Satish Kaushik, all these guys would come there. And we were a cast of about 15-20 people. And we had a chorus, and the singing was done by Alok and Neena and Anita Kaur. And that was my first experience at Prithvi, and Prithvi was a very new stage at that time. Prithvi was just about 4 years, 3.5, 4 years old. By the time I finished doing Andher Nagari Chaupat Raja, somewhere deep down I knew that this is my chosen vocation. And so from then on till I passed out from Xavier's, I used to do either theatre with Ravi Baswani, or by then I had got into doing theatre with Satyadev Dubey. Ravi's theatre activities gradually deteriorated, and he was more into television by then, because by 84, 85 Doordarshan shows after Nukkad and Hum Log, there were a lot of slots opening up. So Ravi went into directing television serials. And luckily for me, Dubey opened out and started taking in some more boys and girls for some more plays, and Dubey somehow took to me. And from 1984 onwards, I started working with Dubey, and to me, that experience of mine from 84 till about 1990-91 was my basic foundation for who I am, what I am today. And I'll tell you why it is. Because one, there were a series of plays which Dubey did, which were classic texts of Indian modern theatre. There was Girish Karnad's Bali, there was Vasant Dev's Aranya, there was George Bernard Shaw's Village Wing, there was Dharamveer Bharti's Andha Yug, and there was again Bernard Shaw's The Don Juan in Hell. For me, the learning experience was that in Bali, which was Nasir, Ratna, Sunila Pradhan, and Dubey himself, I was doing the light and the sounds. So my job was to sit at this theatre called Karnataka Sangh in Matunga and watch Nasir rehearse. There cannot have been a bigger learning experience for me as far as stage craft goes, how scenes are constructed, A, at the writing level, B, how it is constructed on stage, for stage. So seeing a man like Nasir perform and seeing a man like Satyadev Dubey directing him was a great experience. I mean, I still get goosebumps when I think about it. The other play which after that I did was Aranya, which was a verse form play written by Vasant Dev ji. It had Amrish Puri playing 3 roles, and it was phenomenal just to see that man who could speak such great Hindi, Sanskritized Hindi, speak with such clarity and diction, and he had a lovely voice which everybody knows. But to see that man perform on stage was a pleasure. And again, because I was doing light and sound, I was as good as Dubey's assistant, so I used to be with him there. And then all these other plays followed. And that is how my whole grooming towards the arts, and especially towards writing and towards direction, started. Around the time of 1990, after we did Andha Yug, which was meant for, in 1989 there was Nehru Centenary, and that year the Sangeet Natak Academy decided to have a festival in Delhi where all the Sangeet Natak Academy award-winning directors were invited to perform the play for which they had won the award. And Dubey had won it in 1970 or 71 for Andha Yug. So he had to revive Andha Yug for that. And again, it was a great experience because I played the Thulla, I played the Prahari in the beginning. That was my first stage performance with Dubey, where I was the Prahari with whom the play starts. And Nasir Bhai played Ashwathama. Puri Sahab played 3 roles in it again, and there was Akash Khurana, Mohan Bhandari, all old Dubey students were all coming back to do this play. It was a great, great experience. Post that, to my surprise, Dubey took me on to be his assistant to where he was reviving an old classic of his called Sambhog Se Sannyas Tak. Now, Sambhog Se Sannyas Tak is a great play. I had seen it in '82 with Harish Patel playing the role of Kameshwar, and I thought it was one of the greatest theatrical experiences I could have. And that is when I realized that, okay, I could direct, because he just gave me the script and he said, you go ahead and direct it. And so I didn't know what it was to direct, because till then I was just sitting there and watching these stalwarts perform. But when Dubey sir told me this, I suppose he saw something in me, and that is where what happened was that direction just happened. You know, I should just read and move सोचते थे कि ये अच्छा कैरेक्टर यहाँ से नहीं यहाँ जाएगा, ये यहाँ से नहीं वहाँ जाएगा, तो एटीट्यूड क्या होता है, मोटिवेशन क्या होता है, और डायरेक्ट करते करते आपको ये समझ में आने लग जाता है कि डायलॉग ये पर्टिकुलर लाइन क्यों लिखा गया है, प्लेराइट ने क्या सोच के ये लिखा था. While directing Sambhog Se Sannyas Tak, what happened was that I started realizing that कि जो डायलॉग लिखा गया है उसमें सबटेक्स्ट क्या होता है, कि कोई कैरेक्टर ऐसे ही लाइंस नहीं बोल रहा है. There is a motivation to it. There is an attitude to it. Now, these were things that Dubey had tried to explain to me while doing workshops and a whole lot of other things. Paraphrase a passage. Never try to mug it up. Never mug lines. Keep reading it. Try and understand the meaning behind each line. I was 18, 19 तो उस वक्त वो बात समझ में नहीं आती थी कि क्या दुबे साहब बोल रहे हैं. But when I used to see people like Nasir and Puri Saab speak lines with such consummate ease, मैं सोचता था यार ये जब मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ मुझे तो ये मतलब नहीं दिख रहा है, लेकिन जब ये कह रहे हैं तो साला मतलब बहुत निकल के आता है. How is it? So though Dubey used to keep telling me कि ऐसे करो वैसा करो, पढ़ते हो, डांटते भी थे, पर वो कभी it didn't enter my subconscious till I started directing. And that is when I realized. So that was a great learning for me. That dialogues ऐसे ही नहीं लिखे जाते. मतलब चाय लाओ का डायलॉग अगर लिखा गया तो चाय लाओ के पीछे भी कुछ चार मतलब आप निकाल सकते हो. वो आपके ऊपर है कि आपने वो चाय लाओ कैसे लिखा है. So I realized that nothing is written for the sake of just writing it. Even a character getting up and walking out, or a character entering a scene, there has to be a motivation, there has to be an attitude, there has to be a reason. So though I was focusing myself on direction actually, I think somewhere subconsciously all these things about a script seeped in, which helped me as a writer in the future. What happened around this time was that I knew that theatre was my chosen vocation. But theatre was not paying. Hindi theatre was never paying. And the kind of theatre that I did especially was very amateur, experimental kind of stuff, the kind which Satyajit Dubey did. Now, this kind of theatre found it difficult to even get an audience. So unless you're a Nasir or a Amrish Puri or a well-known name, you would never even get audience. मतलब हम पृथ्वी में भी नाटक करें तो उन दिनों में 40-50 के ऊपर कोई आता नहीं था. ये तो अभी फैशन हो गया पृथ्वी में के नाटक है तो जाके देखते हैं लोग, पहले तो होता नहीं था इतना. तो I realized कि I couldn't run my house on it, or I was about to get married. My wife was also part of this theatre group, and it was actually Dubey who put us on together. She had already started working with Renu Saluja as a assistant because she didn't get into the FTI. So she had started working with Renu, and Renu used to do all those NFDC, Garib films. तो वहाँ पैसे भी नहीं होते थे. And when the two of us decided to marry, I realized that मैं theatre करूँ और ये वो editing करे, इससे तो हमारा घर चलने वाला नहीं है. So around that time, my father suggested that I join the government service because he himself was a government servant. And so I joined the income tax department. And my father's logic was very simple कि government में तो कुछ ज़्यादा काम होता नहीं है, तुमको काम करना है कि नहीं करना. लेकिन बहुत टाइम में लगा तुमको थिएटर करने के लिए. So, and he was right. So that's how I joined the income tax department. And I got married. But within a year and a half of it, I realized that यार ये तो मेरे से होगा नहीं. You know, I can't do this 9-to-5 job. And I quit without knowing what would I do next. The only thing I knew was theatre. So I directed a play which Vijay Tendulkar Saab had recommended, called by a new playwright. He was a new playwright at that time, who's very well known today. He's from Pune, from Sassoon Hospital. His name is Dr. Chandrasekhar Fansalkar. He had written 2 short plays, which was written in Marathi. अच्छा, इसके पहले करीब 2 साल पहले एक और किस्सा हुआ था. सुनील शानबाग, जो आज बहुत बड़े थिएटर डायरेक्टर हैं, उनका अपना ग्रुप है अर्पणा. अर्पणा वॉज वेरी न्यू एट दैट टाइम एंड वी वर ऑल पार्ट ऑफ इट. सो वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था कि सुनील वॉज ऑल्सो डूइंग अ बिट ऑफ टेलीविजन एट दैट टाइम. ही वॉज द गाय हु हैड कंसीव्ड अ शो कॉल्ड सुरभि. तो सुनील, बिकॉज ही वॉज बिजी विद सुरभि एंड अ कपल ऑफ अदर थिंग्स दैट ही वॉज डूइंग, ही ऑल्सो फाउंड इट डिफिकल्ट टू डू अ प्ले every 3 months or 4 months. So he put the thought in me कि यार अभी तूने संभोग से सन्यास तक को-डायरेक्ट किया है दुबे जी के साथ, तो why don't you now become an independent director? So he asked, do you have anything to do? Do you have any plays that you want to do? Now, as I had said earlier, Rahul Dakuna was my senior in Xavier's, and I had seen Rahul do a lovely play by Pinter called One Night. It was a short play, and the play had fascinated me a hell of a lot. So I told Sunil that, you know, there are 2 plays of Pinter which I want to do. One was Dumb Waiter and the other was One Night. So Sunil said, great. So हमारे यहाँ पे उन दिनों में होता था क्या, जो भी नाटक करते थे हम बेसिकली मराठी से ही होता था, तो वो हम सुधा शेष को देते थे. सुधा जी वॉज द वाइफ ऑफ शंकर शेष. तो मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, मेरे पास स्क्रिप्ट है, मैं सुधा जी को देता हूँ. तो उसने कहा, यार हम हाउ लॉन्ग विल वी बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन सुधा जी, एंड शी इज ऑल्सो ग्रोइंग ओल्ड, सो तू एक काम करना, तू ही कर ले. एंड आई वाज ज़ैप्ड एंड आई सेड, मैं तो किसी से कर ले. So I said, okay, I'll attempt. So that was my first attempt at writing. And I had adapted these 2 plays into Hindi. And I had done that play. So after that, when in '93, when I got these plays through Mr. Tendulkar and Sunil, and we decided to do this, Sunil said, tu hi kar le. So there were these 2 plays called Tax Free and Abhay Bappa, which I had translated and adapted. When I was doing this play, that is when Dubeji came for the rehearsals and he heard my play as the actors were speaking. और उन्होंने चुपके से अपने जेब से 100 रुपए निकाले और मुझे हाथ में दिया. And I was surprised कि ये मुझे पैसे क्यों दे रहे हैं. It was because he loved my adaptation. He loved the way I had adapted and written it. So, you know, having spent close to 10 years with Dubey, that man never said a good thing. कभी उन्होंने हाँ ना, अच्छा एक्ट किया, अच्छा डायरेक्ट किया, अच्छा लाइट किया, कभी नहीं बोला. पर मेरे एडेप्टेशन को लेके उन्होंने मुझे 100 रुपए दिए. And that somewhere clicked in my mind कि भैया this is what I have to do. So Sunil then put me on to this lady called Prochi Badsha, who's no more. Prochi used to be an ex-Stardust editor and journalist, very senior journalist. And Prochi and her husband were doing a play, a serial. I think it was for, I was not sure for what it was, Doordarshan or for Z. Z had just started. Z के वो 2-3 घंटे का टेलीकास्ट तभी शुरू हुआ था. तो खैर मैंने वो लिखा, मुझे उसके पैसे मिले, आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी. और वो करते करते वहाँ पे what happened was that my wife, who, as I said earlier, Tamara, who was working with Renu Saluja at that point of time, she joined Ashutosh Gowarikar to assist him on his first film, Pehla Nasha. So she was on to all these shoots, and one fine day, Mr. Amol Gupte came to our house. Now Amol and my wife are friends from because her cousin and Amol were very good friends. So Amol has known the family for a very long time. So he couldn't attend our wedding, so he came to meet us. And बात करते करते उसने मुझे पूछा कि क्या कर रहा है. मैं बोला यार मैं काम ढूंढ रहा हूँ, मैं ये कर रहा हूँ. So Amol is also a theatre enthusiast, खुद theatre कर चुका है. In fact, I've seen Amol do a fabulous job in the Mahendra Joshi play in Gujarati. So Amol told me कि एक काम करते हैं यार, मैं ना UTV बल्कि एक कंपनी है, they are doing a comedy for ZTV, तो लिखेगा मेरे साथ. मैंने कहा हाँ चलो. So वो प्रोची वाला प्रोजेक्ट तो उसका कुछ हुआ नहीं. Baba Sagar was acting in it, by the way. I went for this UTV thingy, and so Amol, myself, we landed up at the UTV office, which used to be in Shiv Sagar Estate in Worli. And we met a gentleman there called Vishnu Patel, who was going to direct it. Yeah. And he said, "Tu kuch comedy likh sakta hai kya?" Now, I'd never written comedy. I'd never written anything actually. So मैंने कहा कि बोलो क्या करना है. तो उसने मुझे कोई एक सिचुएशन दिया, बोला कि इसका कोई सीन में लिख के लेके आएगा. तो हाँ ठीक है. I went, I wrote, brought it back. He liked it. That show was called Zara Hatke. So while I was writing that show, there was a gentleman called GP Singh who was doing a role in that. And GP Saab then came and told me that, yeah, there's another friend of mine called Mazahir Rahim who's doing a series called Parivar for, there's a new channel coming up called DD Metro. तो तुम उनको आके मिलो. And that's how I came and met Rahim Saab, our very own Rahim Saab, who's here. This was somewhere in 93, November, December, if I'm not mistaken. And that's how I wrote Parivar for Rahim Saab. So 93 से लेके 94, 93 मेरे ख्याल से ये कुछ जून जुलाई में कुछ परिवार का काम खत्म हो गया. And 94 जुलाई तक it was a tough phase for me because वो एक साल मैं यहाँ पे पायलट लिखता था, वहाँ पे पायलट लिखता था. वो पायलट पे होता था काम, और पायलट के आपको ज़्यादा पैसे भी नहीं मिलते थे. बिकॉज उन दिनों में क्या होता था कि एक पायलट का सिस्टम बन गया था कि हर आदमी पायलट बनाना था. तो बड़े बड़े एक्टरों को लेके पायलट बनाता था. तो एक्टरों को भी ये पता चल गया कि ये सब पायलट हमारा नाम चाहते हैं, हमारा चेहरा चाहते हैं, ये शो आएगा कि नहीं पता नहीं. तो दे यूज्ड टू चार्ज अ पैकेट फॉर बीइंग इन द पायलट. सो जब एक्टर इतना बड़ा प्राइस अपना लेकर जा रहा है उसमें, तो फिर बाकी टेक्नीशियंस के तो कुछ बचता नहीं था. सो वी यूज्ड टू गेट पेड व्हाट 1500 2000 रुपीज फॉर वन एपिसोड, जिसमें कई बार स्टोरी, स्क्रीन पे डायलॉग सब हो जाता था. अराउंड दिस टाइम द थॉट ऑफ डेली सोप स्टार्टेड, एंड दिस गाय कॉल्ड कुशार नंदी, मिस्टर प्रीतिश नंदी's son, he somehow got my number and he called me to his office, and I went and met him. And at that time there was a channel being launched called PITV, and he had something going with PITV, and he told me, would you write a daily soap for me? He gave me a subject and I said, okay, fair enough, it looks interesting. He said, daily soap. अच्छा, डेली शो का मतलब क्या होता है? ये सर यार महीने के 25 एपिसोड लिखने. अच्छा, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? ये सर 25 एपिसोड, स्टोरी, स्क्रीन प्ले, डायलॉग्स. अब मैं बेकार बैठा था 11 महीनों से, बीवी की कमाई पे जी रहा था, और मुझे समझ में आया था मैं क्या करूँ. और उसने कहा कि मैंने पूछा पैसे कितने मिलेंगे? उसने कहा यार बजट बहुत कम है, 500 रुपये दूंगा. एंड इन माई डेस्परेशन आई सेड यस. देन आई केम बैक एंड देन आई रियलाइज कि यार कैसे करूँगा मैं 500 रुपये. आई कॉल्ड हिम एंड नहीं, मुझसे नहीं होगा. एंड ही ऑब्वियसली फेल्ट वेरी बैड, but I just realized that 500 rupees for story, screenplay, dialogue was just not enough. So I said no. And at that point I got another call, and this was for another project for BITV, which was introducing this. There were 3 girls in it, and it was directed by this gentleman called Ashwini Malik. His present wife, Irene Dhar Malik, was assisting him and was the editor, and the associate writer and conceiver of the show was Onir Bandhar. So Onir, Ashwini and Irene met me, and they were doing this show which Vivek Vaswani was producing. Again the same thing happened. मैंने वो पायलट पे काम किया, एक और एपिसोड पे काम किया. BITV बंद हो गया. BITV बंद हो गया कि उनका पता नहीं क्या होगा. तो by then I was at my wits end and I didn't know what to do. I was thinking I should do some alternate career. थिएटर तो कर ही रहा था, नाटक तो चल ही रहा था, पर उस वक्त अब थिएटर से भी चिढ़ होने लग गई है, बिकॉज आप फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो जाते हो, आपको समझ में नहीं आता क्या करना, और अपॉर्चुनिटीज उतने नहीं थे जैसे आज है. At that point of time, Dubey Saab had started reconnected with Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. And at that point, this whole company called Plus Channel, which had come up in quite a big way, was getting into daily soaps. सो दुबे आस्क्ड मी, तू करेगा? भाई देन आई वाज सो डेस्परेट, आई सेड दुबे साहब पैसे नहीं है मैं करूँगा, मुझे काम करना है। तो ही जब जाओ वहाँ पे अपना एप्लीकेशन दे दो, मैं देखता हूँ क्या करना है। मैंने अपना एप्लीकेशन दे दिया। अब मैं वहाँ गया, प्लस चैनल इंटिमिडेटेड मी कम्प्लीटली, कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस, big name Mahesh Bhatt, another big name Amit Khanna, who was the brain behind the whole thing, Johnny Bakshi Saab, and all these young girls were passing out of Sophia's and Jamia Millia, और सब वहाँ पे। और मैं डर डर के अपना एप्लीकेशन वहाँ दे के रिसेप्शन से चला गया, और कुछ हुआ नहीं। Somewhere in July '94, I get a call and I am told that you have to come to the Plus Channel office. I go there, and coincidence, I meet a gentleman called Vincent Franklin, whom I was meeting for the first time, but he remembers me as his senior in Xavier's. So he had seen me do theatre and I don't know what. So he said, I saw your name in the application and I knew who you are. So I said, okay. And then when I put this forward, Dubey Saab said, yes, I know this boy, he does theatre with me. So I said, बात क्या है? He says, यार देखो ये एक डेली सोप बना रहे हैं, शोभा डे का कॉन्सेप्ट है, तो आप 3 लोग लिखेंगे, अशोक मिश्रा साहब, प्रोफेसर जय दीक्षित और आप। अब मैं डर गया यार, मैंने कहा जय दीक्षित साहब तो मुझे हिंदी सिखाते थे जेवियर्स में, अब मैं उनके साथ कहाँ बैठ कर लिखूँगा, मतलब मेरा प्रोफेसर और मैं। नथिंग हैपेंड आफ्टर दैट। The long and short of it is I come back and I'm told they'll get back to me, and they never got back to me. And I said, okay, this is it. So mentally I had decided to quit, because at the same time I had also got into behavioral science. And I had done some workshops with behavioral science, I had gone ahead and done some course on that, and I had passed some levels, and I had reached a stage in my behavioral science where I needed to just cross one more level, and if I crossed that, which was a very intense 6 to 8 months process, I would have become a practicing behavioral scientist today. तो मैं सोचा ये सब बंद, थिएटर करूँगा, बिहेवियरल साइंस करूँगा, राइटिंग वाइटिंग है भाग। और मैं यहाँ पे इस तरफ जा रहा था कि बिहेवियरल साइंस का अपना करूँ। मुझे कुछ हैदराबाद या कहीं जाना था एक सेमिनार के लिए। दिस इज समवेयर अराउंड October '94 when I get a desperate call from Vincent Franklin and saying, boss, you will have to come right now, can you come? यार बात क्या है यार? इसे तो आ जा यार प्लीज़, थोड़ी देर के लिए तो सही। मैंने कहा ठीक है। मैं पहुंचा वहाँ प्लस चैनल में, और ये सब सर पकड़ के बैठे हुए थे। तो विंसेंट ने बोला, देख यार ये सब बड़े बड़े नाम आए, इन सबसे डेली सोप होता नहीं है। दे रियलाइज के एवरी डे चर्निंग आउट ऑफ एन एपिसोड इज नॉट पॉसिबल, एंड वी आर अप शिट स्ट्रीट। अभी हुआ क्या तुमको बताता हूँ। हमने कुछ 4-5 एपिसोड शूट किए, वो वाहियात निकले, और अब वो सब एडिट होके ना उसका 2 एपिसोड बना है। वो 2 एपिसोड में से एक एपिसोड भट्ट साहब ने शूट किया है जो पायलट है, और विच विल बी द सेकेंड एपिसोड टेलीकास्ट, एंड देयर इज 1 एपिसोड विच इज द मिश्रण ऑफ द 3 एपिसोड शॉट बाय अदर्स। उसको सब काट छाट के एक एपिसोड किया, तो हमारे पास 2 एपिसोड है। वी आर गोइंग ऑन एयर इन मिड मार्च, ये अक्टूबर एंड हो रहा है, हमारे पास एक एपिसोड नहीं है, तो तुम लिखोगे? मैंने कहा यार मुझे आगे पीछे स्क्रिप्ट कॉन्सेप्ट कुछ नहीं पता। वो जो शोभा डे के घर पे जाकर जो बात की थी जून जुलाई में, वो तो मुझे याद भी नहीं क्या बात हुई थी। तो इसे नहीं, मैं तेरे को पूरा मटेरियल देता हूँ और तू लिखा भी। तो आई नहीं, बट अप्रूवल, और इसे अप्रूवल बोल जा। मैंने कहा ठीक है सर, मैं अकेले तो नहीं लिखूंगा, मुझे तो आई नीड समबडी राइट नाउ टू गाइड मी थ्रू दिस। तो ही सेज, वो हमने इंटरनली डिसाइड किया, देयर इज दिस डायरेक्टर कॉल्ड अजय गोयल। सो अजय गोयल विल सिट विथ यू। नो अजय गोयल इज अगेन कमिंग फ्रॉम अ फिल्म बैकग्राउंड, देवेंद्र गोयल साहब के बेटे हैं, खुद उन्होंने 2-3 फिल्में डायरेक्ट की हैं। सो अगेन आई वॉज इंटिमिडेटेड। या बोला यार ये बड़े लोगों में से अलावा मेरे उम्र का कोई मुझे मिल नहीं रहा है जिससे मैं बात करूँ। बोलता नहीं अजय इज अ कूल गाय, मीट हिम। Luckily, he happened to be an ex-Xavierite, so we bonded well because we talked about Xaviers and things like that. And so that is how I started writing this show called Sogima. I was getting paid 30,000 rupees for story and screenplay, and I would get paid another 2,000 rupees for dialogues. तो मैंने जोड़ा हिसाब, मैंने बोला यार महीने के 21 एपिसोड होते हैं, तो 30,000 तो उसके हो गए, और 2,000 डायलॉग के 40,000, मतलब 40 और 70,000 रुपीज़ इन नवंबर 94 वॉज बिग। है मैं बोला ठीक है यार मैं लिखता हूँ, बिकॉज पैसों की ज़रूरत थी। एंड I had no idea what daily soaps were. I had no idea how to go about structuring it, writing it. कुछ नहीं पता. हाँ, ये एक काम ये बहुत अच्छा हुआ मेरे साथ, जो कि ये 93 जुलाई अगस्त के बाद से 94 जुलाई, जो ये एक साल मैं लिटरली घर पे था. अपार्ट फ्रॉम डूइंग थिएटर, व्हाट आई डिड वाज दैट आई रियलाइज कि अगर मुझे राइटिंग ही करनी है ज़िंदगी में, तो मुझे कुछ उसके बारे में सीखना पड़ेगा. मतलब जो कुछ भी मैंने रहीम साहब के साथ लिखा, या उसके पहले विष्णु पटेल और उनके साथ लिखा, या वो जो भी किया था, वो इट वाज के अब रहीम साहब ने कुछ समझाया मुझे, या विष्णु पटेल या उन लोगों ने समझाया, और जो अपनी एक सेंसिबिलिटी थी वो कुछ लग के एपिसोड बन रहे थे. बट एक्चुअली एपिसोड्स कैसे लिखे जाते हैं या फिल्म कैसे लिखा जाता है, देयर वाज नो इंस्टीट्यूट, देयर वाज नो ट्रेनिंग, देयर वाज नथिंग इन दोज डेज. सो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने जाके ये जो मैंने पैसे कमाए थे, ये जो 2-3 सीरियल्स लिख के, उससे मैंने कुछ किताबें मैंने खरीदी राइटिंग को लेके, एंड दे वर very helpful to me, because in that 6 months to 8 months what I did was that though I was without work, I read through these books. Okay, some of them today might look very stupid, that why did I read it? For example, Sitfield's, workbook of a script writer, or whatever that, one of the Fred Sitfield books, where you read more, you realize, okay, that's not a great book to read. But the fact is that at that point of time, when you're a rookie, it's a lovely book to read, Fred Sitfield's book. So I read those books, and when I read those books, I felt okay, the references of those books, which were film references, were very interesting. So I used to go and pick up VHS cassettes of those films and see those films, and then read the chapter and go back to that film and try and figure out what do they mean by structure, what is Act 1, what is Act 2, what is Act 3, what is the importance of the first 15 minutes. ये जो भी उसमें लिखा गया था, वो किताब पढ़ने के बाद, हर चैप्टर के बाद जो भी फिल्म का रेफरेंस होता था, मैं जाके वो उसका VHS लेके आके मैं फिल्म देखता था. So I went through this process, and that, though it was nothing to do with television, but somewhere it gave me a sense of कि writing means there is something called a structure. You have to structure your writing, whether it's a 3-hour film or whether it's a 20-minute episode. So beginning, middle, end क्या होता है, setup क्या होता है, plot progression, ये जो चीज़ें हैं, this I got to know by reading these books. And my father-in-law, who was also a film critic, a very big film critic in the South, bought me a book which is for me a Bible as far as television goes, and that is a book by Madeline DiMaggio, called Writing for Television. Madeline DiMaggio's book, Writing for Television, is, according to me, a great workbook for any writer who's starting in television. So this book was given to me somewhere in the beginning of 94, and I read through it and I realized, अच्छा, television ऐसा होता है. Around the same time हुआ क्या था कि Star TV had come about in a big way, and it used to only show English soaps, and Bold and Beautiful and Santa Barbara had become huge hits in India in those days. So I, for some strange reason, was hooked on to Santa Barbara more than Bold and Beautiful. And what I liked about Santa Barbara was that कि यार 45 minutes में वो आपको ऐसे पकड़ के रखता है कि आप वो चेयर छोड़ते नहीं. मतलब आपने बिगिनिंग से बैठा तो एंड तक, मतलब वो आपका 1 hour जाता था. या आप बीच में कहीं से आ गए, you had gone out somewhere and you come in and you switched it on, तो जिस पॉइंट से आप देखना शुरू करते हो, आप you get hooked. So Santa Barbara was a big influence on me in my writing at that point of time. And when Sobiman's offer came to me, I dived into it, and the only thing I knew about daily soap was Santa Barbara. And I have no idea how I went about writing it. वो कहते हैं ना कि you learn swimming if you're put into the sea, you will start learning swimming. मेरा वही हुआ. I kind of just jumped into it, and I learned swimming and I didn't sink. So that's how Sobiman happened, and as they say, the rest is history. That I'm still known as the man who wrote the first daily soap of India. I got stamped as the daily soap writer. So every other daily soap that started after that, it was written by Vinod Rangnath. Ekta Kapoor's first daily soap, Itihas, was written by me. Zee TV's first daily soap, Kartavya, was written by me. Star's first daily soap, which they had commissioned before Kyun Ki Kahani, a show called Lekin, which never came on air for various reasons. I was the writer of that. And I loved writing daily soaps because It was a great process for me. It gave me a kick that you're writing every day, that you're getting so much time to play around with characters. You could actually explore plots, subplots, all these things which I had read, which I had seen in Santa Barbara. All those things I could put into practice while writing Swabhiman and all these films. TV was a very intimate medium in those days, the industry I'm talking about. And वो एक घर जैसा एटमॉस्फेयर होता था, सब भाईचारे में काम करते थे, प्रोफेशनलिज्म होता था एज फार एज द वर्क इज कंसर्न, बट उसके अलावा एक रिलेशनशिप बनती थी प्रोड्यूसर के साथ, डायरेक्टर के साथ. आप डायरेक्टर के साथ इवन डेली सोप में आप डायरेक्टर के साथ बैठ के आप डिस्कस कर सकते थे. जैसे मैंने कहा कि अभी अजय गोयल साहब के साथ मैंने शुरुआत की, फिर गोगी आनंद साहब आए, द लेट गोगी आनंद. गोगी वॉज अ फिनोमिनली ब्रिलियंट डायरेक्टर. So there was always an interaction between the writer, the producer, the director. The writer knew exactly what was going on at the shoot. The director would know exactly what the writer ने आगे क्या सोचा है. तो हम सब एक सिंक में होते थे. एंड बहुत बड़ी बात यह है कि कोई भी डायरेक्टर, वो चाहे कितना ही बड़ा हो, एंड दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड इन दोस डेज, बट आई रियलाइज कि दैट्स हाउ द मीडियम इज. मतलब वो गोगी आनंद साहब हो, भट्ट साहब हो, अजय गोयल हो, सुकन ढड्डा who had also directed, Debloy Day who directed, none of them would change anything on set without checking with the writer. मतलब मुझे डायरेक्टली फोन आता था कि यार ये सीन है, ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, तो तुमको ऐसा लग रहा है, तुमको क्या लग रहा है. या अगर कोई मेजर प्रॉब्लम हो तो मुझे सेट पे बुलाते थे, मैं सेट चला जाता था, वहाँ पे डिस्कशन होती थी, अच्छे के लिए बुरे के लिए जो भी है वो होता था. तो एक तो क्या है कि writing was never stressful, even though I was writing daily soaps. There was no stress of writing daily soaps. There was never the stress of a deadline because we always had a bank of episodes. That was one thing. The other thing was that even channel में जब हम करते थे, like Sony came up around 95, yeah, Z. The atmosphere was very different. It was a very approachable scenario. Channels listen to you, you exchange ideas. There was never this tough competition which is there. So there was never this stress of deliveries as far as not only ratings go, but even other deliveries of telecasts and all that. And the other most important thing was, in those days, the people who were there were very knowledgeable. They were knowledgeable people who knew the medium, who were growing with the medium, and senior people who were basically from films, so who had a lot of experience as far as the audiovisual medium is concerned, and who understood or tried to understand television. This was, to me, the big change which was there at that time, which I see missing now. The other big thing that has changed, according to me, which I feel very sad because I think that is what has killed the television today, is that, when we started this whole daily soap trend in 93, 94, and even till then, forget daily soaps, even all the other weekly soaps that were happening. You see, television was always understood as a medium of close-up, and it was understood as a medium to use telling intimate stories. Television was meant for sagas. Like, you do a Tipu Sultan, for example, you do a Maratha, or you did a Mahabharata, or you did a Ramayana. They were human dramas. They were stories which explored characters. Now, when you explore characters, what you're trying to do is that you're trying to get into the mind of the character, and you're trying to bring what is inside the mind out onto the screen. So it became a medium of close-ups, and it was meant to be intimate storytelling. अभी हम क्या देख रहे हैं पिछले 5-6 सालों में कि for some strange reason people are trying to recreate cinema into television. यहाँ पे आजकल मैं देखता हूँ पिछले 6-7 सालों में करोड़ रुपए के, 60 लाख के, 70 लाख के, 50 लाख के सेट्स लगते हैं. आप यूपी बिहार क्रिएट कर रहे हो बॉम्बे के स्टूडियो में, आप जयपुर क्रिएट करना चाहते हो बॉम्बे के स्टूडियो में, और मेरे हिसाब से ये फिजूल खर्ची है, क्योंकि आप एक शॉट में आप एक स्ट्रीट दिखा दिया जयपुर का, या बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी का फसाड आपने एक शॉट में दिखा दिया, उसके बाद कहानी जो है वो तो अंदर आके क्लोजअप में ही होता है। कहानी तो कैरेक्टरों की है, कहानी जगह की नहीं है। जगह आप क्यों दिखा रहे एक एम्बियंस के लिए, लेकिन हो क्या रहा है, चूंकि आपने अभी 50, 60, 70 लाख का सेट खड़ा कर दिया है, तो आपको वो जस्टिफाई करना है। तो वो जस्टिफाई करने के लिए आपको सिचुएशंस और सीन्स ऐसे लिखने पड़ते हैं ताकि आपको वो जस्टिफाई करे, क्योंकि आपने 50-60 लाख खर्च किए। सो द फोकस ऑफ द स्टोरी टेलिंग has changed. External things have become more important than what should be important. Things like the set, things like कितना अच्छा फोटो, कैमरामैन कितना अच्छा है, your properties, the styling of the women, the costumes, the jewelry, इन चीज़ों को बहुत ज़्यादा अहमियत दी जा रही है पिछले 6-7 सालों में। ये ज़रूरी है, मैं ना नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, बट आई विश दैट जितना पैसा, मेहनत और इम्पोर्टेंस इसको दिया जा रहा है, उसी तरह का जो इम्पोर्टेंस स्क्रिप्टिंग को देना चाहिए वो कहीं पे मिसिंग आउट हो रहा है। हमारे ज़माने में हम 25-30 एपिसोड लिख के फिर शो एयर पे जाता था। 25-30 शोज लिखने के लिए उसके पहले 6 महीने से वी यूज्ड टू हैव इंटेंस वर्क ऑन दैट, देयर इज नथिंग स्पेक्युलेटिव। आजकल हो क्या रहा है कि काम 1 साल पहले से शुरू हो जाता है, लेकिन काम एक ही एपिसोड पे हो रहा है। मतलब एक पायलट शूट हो रहा है, कुछ चैनलों ने पायलट का ये सिलसिला भी शुरू किया है, तो वो पायलट के पीछे आगे 2-3 महीने लग जाते हैं। फिर वो पायलट शूट होता है, फिर वो रिजेक्ट होता है, फिर उसका चेंज करो, ये करो, वो करो। बाय द टाइम दैट पायलट गेट्स अप्रूव्ड, फिर पता चला कि चैनल को या तो एक्ट्रेस का चेहरा नहीं पता, या एक्टर का चेहरा नहीं पसंद, या ये वो, और इसमें आपके 7-8 महीने निकल गए। और बाय द टाइम द शो कम्स ऑन है, वो राइटर वही फंसा हुआ है जो 1 साल पहले फंसा था। उसको ना पता है कहानी आगे क्या है, उसके पास ना 1 महीने की कहानी होती है, उसके हाथ में 5 एपिसोड या 6 एपिसोड भी नहीं होते, या 10 एपिसोड लिखे होते, और आप एयर पे जा रहे हो विद 5 एपिसोड्स। सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन द 10-11 months of pre-production? Nothing concrete as far as writing is concerned. So the stress level of writing and delivery has become huge in today's times, because I feel that these things which are important, but I don't think they are more important than writing. And I'm not saying this just because I'm a writer. I feel overall for the good of television, I feel that more time should be given for writing. That time is not being given. So the emphasis and the focus has shifted from the time when I started writing till now. When I started writing, the writer was the king. The writing was the most important thing, because it was always meant to be that television was a writer's medium. Today, unfortunately, it is no more a writer's medium. People say it for the sake of saying it. They say we need good writers. They say we respect writers. They say all those things. But the reality is that the focus has shifted from writing. Somewhere down the line, the focus that television is meant to be a medium of close-ups. It's a 17-inch or a 21-inch screen. It's not 70 mm. That was lost. I'm given a whole lot of explanations by a lot of people saying that there is competition. आपके ज़माने में दूरदर्शन और ZTV था, आज 10 चैनल है और TRP का प्रेशर है। बट माई पॉइंट इज़ कि यार हर साल पिछले 4 सालों में अब अगर आप देखें तो हर साल कम से कम 15 या 20 शो लॉन्च होते हैं। उसमें से कितने चलते हैं 1 साल के लिए? 2 या 3, बाकी 15 तो उड़ जाते हैं। तो ये 15 क्यों उड़ रहे हैं? क्योंकि इसके स्क्रिप्ट पे काम नहीं किया गया है। जितना एम्फेसिस आप एक सेट लगाने में करते हैं, या उसके कॉस्ट्यूम्स और ज्वेलरी और लुक टेस्ट और इसमें जाता है, इतना ही अगर आप मेहनत राइटिंग पे लगा देते तो शायद वो 15 में से 5 और चल जाते हैं और 10 ही शायद रिजेक्ट हो जाते हैं। पर ये नहीं हो रहा। ये फोकस जो है ना, ये शिफ्ट हो गया। आपको बड़े सेट्स चाहिए, आपको आगरा की गलियां दिखानी है, आपको इसमें उसमें माथाफोड़ी हो रही है कि सेट डिज़ाइनर ने ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया। अब इतनी मेहनत राइटिंग पे क्यों नहीं करते? मैं राइटरों को और चैनलों को, मैं दोनों से सवाल है कि आप ये फोकस वहाँ क्यों नहीं करते? हर बार आप जब भी किसी भी राइटर से पूछिए कि जब वो शो शुरू हो रहा है एयर पे, उसको पूछिए कि भाई कितने एपिसोड एयर पे, वो बोलेगा यार 10 है मुश्किल से। अब 10 एपिसोड मुश्किल से अगर आपके पास है तो आप क्या क्वालिटी राइटिंग दे पाएंगे? और अगर आप उस राइटर को पूछे कि इस शो पे काम कब से चल रहा है, वो बोलता है यार 1 साल हो गया, यार 8 महीने हो गए। तो ये 1 साल 8 महीने में जो काम हो रहा था वो स्क्रिप्टिंग पे क्यों नहीं हुई, बाकी चीज़ों पे क्यों हो रहा है? This whole pressure of TRP, what it has done to television is that a lot of people feel that, you know, if we write ahead and if we go ahead, then कल को ratings अगर गिर गई या कोई problem हो गया, we are not in a position to change. I firmly believe that I don't think you can do cosmetic changes just because ratings have fallen overnight. People should have the courage and the guts to stand by what they had approved in the first place and let it have its decent run. And what is happening is that there are a lot of knee-jerk reactions which are happening. तो आपको एक हफ्ते के ऊपर से या 4 एपिसोड के ऊपर से आपको फीडबैक नहीं मिलता, बिकॉज सब बैठे रहते हैं कि यार अगले हफ्ते का रेटिंग क्या है, वो रेटिंग के बाद हम देखते हैं। हमारे ज़माने में ये नहीं होता था, और ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे ज़माने में कंपटीशन नहीं था इसके लिए हम ये कर पाते। नो, आई एम सॉरी, आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल। यू सी, शांति वाज अ डेली शो विच इज टू कम एट 2:10, और 2:10 से 2:30 तक 20 मिनट के लिए शांति आता था। शांति के बाद 3:20 को स्वाभिमान आता था। अब उसके बीच में इनिशियली 95 में जब ये दोनों शो शुरू हुए, बहुत सारे वो फार्मर टाइप शोज या दूरदर्शन के कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्री या ये कुछ दिखाया जाता था। अब ये कोई देखता था, कोई देखता नहीं था, पता नहीं। लेकिन ये बात ज़रूर है कि लोग 2:10 को स्विच ऑन करते थे, जिनको शांति देखना था 2:30 बजे वो बंद करते थे, और वही लोग जिनको स्वाभिमान देखना है वो दोबारा टीवी के सामने 3:20 को आके ऑन करते थे और स्वाभिमान देखते थे। You see, after the success of Shanti and Swabhiman, Doordarshan realized that they can fill in those slots. So 2:30 से 3 इन लोगों ने एक स्लॉट ओपन करके किसी को दिया था, और 3 से 3:30 तक, 3:25 तक एक और स्लॉट ओपन कर दिया था। एंड आप दूरदर्शन के रिकॉर्ड्स देख लीजिए, ये जो 3-3.5 साल जो ये दोनों शोज चले थे, वो 2:30 से 3 बजे का ये स्लॉट में कितने शोज आए और चले। तो ऐसा क्या था कि लोग शांति देखते थे और फिर स्वाभिमान देखते थे। जिनको वो बीच का शो पसंद नहीं आया तो वो देखते नहीं थे। विच मीन्स व्हाट, दैट पीपल वॉच ओनली व्हाट दे लाइक, यू सी। सो वेदर इफ पीपल डिडंट वांट टू वॉच स्वाभिमान एंड शांति, दे कुड हैव स्विच्ड ऑफ, बिकॉज पीपल वर स्विचिंग ऑफ बिटवीन 2:30 एंड 3:30। सो इट इज नॉट के बिकॉज देयर वाज नो कंपटीशन तो जो आप दिखाओ वही लोग देखते थे, वो गलत है, बिल्कुल गलत है। आज भी आप देखिए, आप कोई भी चैनल देखिए, फॉर एग्जांपल किसी भी चैनल में आप देख लीजिए, उसमें हर चैनल में 1 या 2 शो होगा जिसकी रेटिंग 4 या उसके ऊपर है। बाकी सारे जो शोज के चैनल के जो रेटिंग्स हैं वो 1.5, 2, 2.5 इसके बीच में है। इसका मतलब क्या होता है, अगर आपका चैनल हिट है और आपके चैनल में एक कोई ऐसा शो है जिसको 3 या 4 की रेटिंग आ रही है, तो बाकी शोज को फिर क्यों नहीं आ रही है? क्यों नहीं आ रही है? क्योंकि आपके चैनल में बहुत से लोगों को वो बाकी शोज वो पसंद नहीं है। सो विच मीन्स इवन देयर पीपल आर स्विचिंग ऑन एंड स्विचिंग ऑफ। सो इट इज ऑलवेज द चॉइस ऑफ द व्यूअर। You look at a channel like Colors, for example. Consistently for the past 4 years, Balika Vadhu at 8 o'clock is giving a rating of 4 and 4 plus. Consistently, on an average. Look at the other shows. Look at Star Plus. Earlier, ये रिश्ता क्या कहलाता है और उसके पहले बिदाई. These two shows were touching the 5s, the 4s and the 5s. Gradually बिदाई बंद हो गई, and now Diya और Bati is touching. उसके पहले Satya was touching, now Diya और Bati is touching. But if you remove each of these shows, look at the other average. 2, 2.5, 1.8, 1.7. क्यों भाई? Which means that 1.8, 1.7 or 2 is the basic average that is being watched on that show. which means there are some people who just switch on Star Plus from 6:30 till 11. That is that 1.8 to 2 who don't switch. So that means there are other people coming in apart from these 1.8 and 2 who are watching your Diya or Bati or your other shows and making it to 5. नहीं तो सब आपके सब shows को 3 या 4 या 5 मिलना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? So which means what is happening, what I'm trying to say is that people who have the remote in their hand have the choice of switching on or switching off. So it is wrong to say कि हमारे ज़माने में competition नहीं था तो आप जो भी देखा वो लोग देखते थे, वो गलत है. I don't agree with it at all. Because there were so many shows on Doordarshan, all those shows were not remembered. How many people remember shows in Doordarshan? Even now today people remember the iconic shows like Ye Jo Hai Zindagi, Nukkad and Mungeri Lal and all those shows, no? P.A. Saab and Circus and these shows are being remembered. No? उसके अलावा क्या shows नहीं थे क्या दूरदर्शन में? Of course shows थे. Who remembers? Because they were not as big successes as these shows. So what I'm trying to say is that, these are, I feel, unfortunately, because the focus has shifted from the writing to the other aspects of television. The writing quality in on the whole has fallen drastically. हमारे ज़माने में क्या होता था कि एक आइडिया को लेके आप सोचते थे, you were allowed the time to take that idea organically forward. We used to really brainstorm over it. We used to take it forward, and it used to go ahead, and we used to let the idea develop, and we used to broad stroke it, and then milestone episodes. I never wrote any one of my daily soaps without having at least 100-150 episode story in my hand. I used to always have a 30 to 40 page document which I had only developed, which was at least my first 4 to 5 months story, detailed. That is to be read by the director, that is to be read by the producer, that is to be read by the dialogue writer and the assistant directors. We used to all brainstorm over that, उस पर फिर changes करते थे, एक लॉक करते थे कि भैया ये 4 एपिसोड या 4 या 5 महीने की कहानी है. ये लॉक करने के बाद ही मैं लिखता था. बिकॉज जब आपको पता ही नहीं आगे कहाँ जाना है तो आप कैसे लिख सकते हो? राइटिंग इज लाइक ड्राइविंग, नो? आप गाड़ी लेके निकल पड़े, अब आपको पता ही नहीं डेस्टिनेशन कहाँ है तो आप कहाँ जाओगे? यू गॉट टू नो ना. आप निकले यहाँ से तो पूना जा रहे हैं, तो चलो पूना जाते जाते आप पुणे के रास्ते पे चले गए, फिर आपका कोई डाइवर्शन हो गया, पता चला नहीं पूना नहीं नासिक जाना है, वो अलग बात है, पर निकले तो आप पूना की तरफ ही थे ना. आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि आपको पता ही नहीं कहाँ जाना है. मैं कितने सोप्स पिछले 3 या 4 साल में मुझे बुलाया गया, जहाँ पे एक तो शो था जिसपे मुझे वेडनेसडे को बोला गया था भाई फ्राइडे का एपिसोड हमारे पास नहीं है, आप आके लिखिए, जबकि वो एपिसोड वो शो एयर पे आया था मंडे को, मतलब मंडे को एपिसोड एयर पे आया है. वेडनेसडे शाम को मुझे डेस्परेट फ़ोन कॉल आता है कि भाई फ्राइडे का एपिसोड लिखोगे, हमारे पास थर्सडे तक का ही है. और मैंने सोचा अगले हफ्ते फ्राइडे. उन्होंने कहा नहीं भाई परसों. तो मैंने कहा यार कैसे करते हो तुम लोग? तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं यार अब हो गया, वो प्रॉब्लम हो गया, वो राइटर से हो नहीं रहा है. मैंने कहा मैं इतनी जल्दी तो नहीं लिख पाऊंगा, पहले तो मैं आऊँ, पैसे वैसे की बात करूँ, शो क्या है समझूँ, कैरेक्टर्स क्या है समझूँ, देखूँ कि मुझसे हो पाएगा नहीं हो पाएगा. अरे तुमसे हो जाएगा, तुम बहुत एक्सपीरियंस हो, तुम फास्ट हो, तुम आ जाओ. फिर मैंने कहा कि नहीं भैया एक काम करते हैं, मंडे से मैं लिखूंगा यार, फ्राइडे का तो प्रेशर मत डालो मुझ पर. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है आ जाओ, फ्राइडे का हम लोग कुछ मैनेज करते हैं. तुम लोग मतलब नहीं, हम और चैनल मिलकर कुछ कर लेंगे. ऐसे तो शोज होते हैं आजकल. तो why? My point is, see, no show comes on air before at least 3 months of planning for it. You see, you cannot, it is not like no channel today, you go there with the concept, or you sell the concept to him, or you shoot a pilot, in whichever way, whatever way you go. They need at least 3 to 4 months before they can schedule it. Because they need to publicize it, they need to work around what they call their FPCs. Their fixed point charts, to figure out where to put it, what time slot to put it. So there's a whole lot of thinking on the channel which goes into putting up a show. So there is a gestation period between the time you first get a nod for it till it comes on air. Now in this gap of 3 to 4 months, the minimum that you get, what are people doing as far as script is concerned? Nothing. Now, I don't know why it happens. I don't know who's at fault. Is it the channel at fault? Is it the writer who doesn't have the capacity to write? Then if the writer doesn't have the capacity to write, my question to the channel is, why do you then approve such a show? You wait till you get a good writer to write. So ये जो focus writing से shift हुआ ना, this is the biggest change that I've seen. And to me, this has caused all the problem to television today. Because if you look at all the shows today, they all look the same. This industry doesn't have more than 10 writers, actually, trained writers who understand writing. This industry's requirement is 300 writers. Now, my assessment of the whole situation is that if the industry requires 300 writers, so do satellite channels require at least 1/3 of this amount of people for their programming needs. Now, I feel that if there are 300 untrained writers in television, then I feel there are as many, at least 100 untrained people sitting in satellite channels. And I think that is where the problem is. The problem is that, you see, by passing out of a Jamia Millia or by passing out of a Sophia Polytechnic or any one of these institutes, and you come into a channel job, it still doesn't teach you anything. You have learned things at a book level, you have learned things at a classroom level, you don't have hands-on experience. It is one thing to write 50 episodes, and it is another thing to read 500 episodes. I personally believe that by reading 500 episodes, you don't understand writing. You attempt to write 50 episodes, you can think of being a writer. I won't even say you're a writer, I'll say you can think of being a writer.